is Nazario. I'm president of the Baker High School Alumni Association here in Columbus, Georgia. And it's my turn to tell my story. After high school, I turned down my scholarships, and the following December, me and my buddy, we couldn't find some jobs, so we joined the Army. And we volunteered for the draft. And then we went on Broadway in those days where the recruiting office was. And we were looking at an airborne poster, and the sergeant, and he's 7, he said, you boys are interested in joining the service? And I said, oh, we already volunteered for the draft in those days. He said, well, you got to be RA, regular Army, if you plan on going to airborne school. So me and my buddy, like two dummies, we took an extra year. I went on active duty on February the 12th, 1962. I went to Fort Chaffee, Arkansas for my basic training and my AIT. Then after that, in the latter part of July, I come back to Fort Benning to go to airborne school. We had about 1,000 students, over 1,000 students, and the first week we didn't have but 500 left. So it was pretty dramatic. I didn't really had a lot of fun, but I was motivated by the fact of making it to airborne school because my father was a post sergeant major, so I couldn't quit. I had to make it, and you know what? I'm glad I did, because I'll do it again. After that, I got sent to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, home of the 101st Airborne Division. Screaming Eagles. I was assigned to Company E, 327. And Company E, we were battle groups in those days. We haven't been battle groups that long. But to make a longer story short, when the Cuban crisis in November of 62, October 62, our company commander called some of us people that spoke Spanish and asked us if we were willing to be decoys. There was 5 of us, three of us Puerto Ricans, 1 Cuban, and 1 Mexican. He spoke the same dialect we did, Aguayo. And so we all volunteered to be decoys, thinking we were never going to leave. But then, of course, we go to the break room, and we're watching TV, and the ships are getting closer to Cuba. And my platoon sergeant, Sergeant Harry Fay, he was a Korean War veteran and had 2 combat jumps. Well, he trained us. We were well trained, for one thing. We were well trained. And then the one day when he comes up to our platoon bay, he comes up and he says, "Men, fall out. This is no drill." And so we fall out. We have our deuces and a half. We had our cattle trucks, and we get on. I remember calling my girlfriend real quick on the phone booth here at Fort Benning. And her dad had just left 2 days ago. It was in Florida, and so we go to the airfield, and we put our parachutes on, and we're in the air. And I've never seen so many 30s in C-130s in all my life. We were the lead plane, so we take off. And at Fort Campbell, when the left wing drops, that means you're going south. You know, you're still questioning in your mind, are we going to Cuba? Are we going south? Are we going to Cuba? Well, you know, that's a fact. When we got down to Florida, around Jacksonville, Florida, I think it was, the planes went down to 200 feet. This is so it won't be detected by radar. It was a bumpy ride, as we call it in the airborne. And then my platoon sergeant and I talking, we had a small conversation. He asked me if I was scared. And I said, "Sergeant Fay, I'm not scared, but my stomach is all messed up right now." He said, "Well, I'm scared." I said, "You scared?" I said, "Yeah, this would be my 3rd combat jump." You know, I said, bullets ain't got no sense, you know. So we had some small talk. and then we fly for a while. We turn left, and then you can see the other. In those days, the C-130s were not camouflaged; it was all silver. And you look at the sky, and it's all silver. And in the plane, you look around the other guys, you look at them in the eyes, and some of my Catholic buddies, they were praying a rosary, you know, and I didn't think they was religious at all, you know, but they were good guys, good guys. Everybody was praying on their own. We weren't scared, but we knew that some of us not coming back, probably. We out south of Cuba, and I didn't have south of Havana, and 20 minutes come up. When 20 minutes come up on our planes, then the red light comes on the plane. You got two lights on the plane, red and green. Red, get ready, green, go. They have it on the doors and throughout the plane. 20 minutes come out, my platoon sergeant, Sergeant Harry Fair, he was the jump master. And he led the commands. You know, led the commands. And it was business then. It was you just following orders. We were loaded we had M14s. We were loaded to the gills with bandoliers and so on. And so on. Then we go through the jump commands. And the last command is the famous of all, stand at the door. So Sergeant Fay came to the door, and I was the second man at the door. I remember we looking ahead, sticking our head out the door, looking ahead. We could see the ground, the island, the beach. Then the next thing you know, we're going over the beach. Oh, but before we went over the beach, I happened to the low master, part of the plane crew. He came to the back where we were at, watching us. He had a really concerned look for us guys going out. So I motioned to him, how much time do we have left? And he pointed with his hands, 20 seconds. And I told my platoon sergeant, 20 seconds, Sarge. And he nodded his head. And so we counting, 10,000. 9,000, 8,000. At 8,000, the red light went off. And then it came back on and off. That means abort, no jump. I grabbed my sergeant, no jump. And we shuffled back to our seats. And 15, 30 minutes later, the load master from the airplane came and told my sergeant and the sergeant the head of the other side of the plane, the ships turned around. 8 seconds more, we would have been in World War III. However, we are convinced, my sergeant and I, that our guys, the Pathfinders, were there because we spotted smoke, and it was outlining the drop zone. So our guys were there. So we turned back. I mean, we went up to regular altitude. We stopped. I think it was in Mississippi, gassed up, and then we came back to Fort Campbell. The second interesting story, I didn't know that my company E327, was a riot control company. In 1957, at Little Rock, Arkansas, they defended the blacks that were integrating Central High. And they gained a reputation then as a riot control company. Eisenhower activated him. In 1962 also, James Meredith went to Ole Miss. And my first job there was two halls, Baxter Hall, I don't remember the others. And we had two guards on each side on the two buildings, on each side of the building. My first job was to sit out in the front of his dorm with the U.S. Marshal. And we were on turn for two hours at a time. I see Mr. Meredith walk out, he would greet us. Come back in, he would greet us again. And so then on a Friday night, I'm walking on the front of the building with my partner, Fred Huban, just happened to think of his name. from Worcester, Massachusetts, and we were working guards, and we heard this music, loud music going on, and he got closer to us, and it was 45, at least 40 to 45 students, mostly boys, some girls, and they were chanting stuff, you know. Can Jamie come out and play? Can Jamie come out and play? And you know, we didn't pay no attention to it. And then when we went to the end and did an about face, I had about 6 Coca-Cola bottles, glass bottles, fall right in front of me. Then we knew it was business right then. Okay, so they busted 5 or 6 Coca-Cola bottles. Again, on my second time, we stopped and we loaded. We had M14s, 30 caliber, a clip would hold 20 rounds, and we had 19 blanks and 1 live. We knew things were getting serious, and when I walked a full turn, I came back, the leader said, well, they're not gonna let him out, so we might as well go back. And they went back, and we avoided having to any shooting at all because it was going to happen. They were outnumbered, and I think that they knew of our reputation as far as route controls. One of my other interesting times also was when we were in Iran. We jumped in Iran, and we had to walk for, good God, 2 days, real high, until we got to our vehicles. And I had a vehicle that I was in communications then, and it was a mule, and it's a 4-wheel vehicle, motorized vehicle. On our journey to the northern part, I got word that we're going to pull over to eat some sea rations, chow. At the time when I pulled over and I was opening my beans and Winnie with my P38, there were some mounds. There wasn't sand dunes. There were just hard dunes. And there was this lady, Iranian lady, holding a child and 2 children holding hands. And I couldn't speak their language, they couldn't speak mine, but I could tell they were hungry. So I rushed over there to them, and I let them have my beans and Winnie and whatever else I could. And they were so grateful. They were so grateful. When I went back to my mule, my old platoon sergeant pulled by, and he said, you know, if we were in Korea, you couldn't do that in Korea because you don't know, those children might be wrapped around with C4. And I couldn't believe that they would sacrifice the children, but that was true. So, you know, I had an interesting career in the Army. I played football for Fort Campbell, 101st Airborne. I think there's only 2 of us players left. The other one is Frank Orgel. Him and Pat Dye coached Auburn University, for all you Auburn fans. And anyway, I'm glad to tell my story. And you know, I feel like most vets, I'd do it again if I had to. Thank you all.
Here we go, here we go, all the way, all the way. Here we go, here we go, every day, every day. Sign my name on the dotted line. Sign my name on the dotted line.